Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of True Myths, One Lie, the game show in the form of a podcast all about myths, conspiracies, urban legends, all of the things in our worlds that we don't fully understand. I'm your host, Anthony Manella, and the way that the game works is I'm going to tell 3 stories, 2 of which are from people online that claim that these stories are true, they have really happened to them, and 1 story that is completely made up. It is up to my guests and all of you guys at home to try and figure out which story is the lie. Today's first guest, at-home television, censors out all the bad words. Andrew Heinlein.
Hello.
Really?
I used to. At my parents' house. Not at my house.
Yeah.
Can't afford
He's
a
a grown boy
contraption like that.
Yeah.
It's very expensive to have someone do that.
Not expensive at all.
Today's second guest cannot memorize any lines that are 3 words or longer unless you put a fake beard on him. Christopher Manella.
That is correct. Hi.
The fake beard, that's the magic.
It's the character.
It whispers the lines back to you.
Yeah.
Sentient.
Today's third guest only likes to stay in rooms when he goes away that he thinks are haunted. Seth Cologne.
That's an exaggeration.
Okay, but when you go away, you're like, I hope this room is haunted.
Yeah, because especially if you're
So it's not really
staying.
an exaggeration.
Yeah, but if you're staying somewhere for a few days, it's like, okay, I have an out. You know, like I'm not moving somewhere. So like,
no, I know.
Yeah.
I don't mean your house. I mean when you go away.
No, I know. That's probably the best time to stay in a haunted room.
Yeah,
'cause you're only
100%.
there for a few days and then you leave.
I understand your logic, but I still wouldn't want to stay in a haunted room.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick break. We will be right back. The NFL is back in action, and so is winning season at MyBookie. If you don't know, today's sponsor, MyBookie, is a sports book where you can do all of your sports betting online. With over $500,000 in contest prize money, winning season makes the big games even better and the victories even sweeter. Head to mybookie.ag and choose from a variety of boosts, contests, and promotions up for grabs, highlighted by the crown jewel of winning season, the MyBookie Super Contest. It only costs $10 to enter. Pick 5 games against the spread each week. Each win earns you a point, and each point gets you closer to the grand prize. If you missed out on week 1, don't even sweat it because entries are still open, and all it takes is 1 solid week to get you back in the mix. Don't just take my word for it. Join now and start your winning season with MyBookie today. In order to get you started, make your first deposit at mybookie.ag and use promo code MYTHS to instantly receive double your deposit. That's double your money to double your winnings with your first ever deposit using promo code MYTHS. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Thank you to MyBookie for sponsoring today's episode.
Guys, why are we staying in a hotel? We're not going anywhere.
Okay, guys, today's topic is all about...
Wait, can we guess?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Goats.
Close?
Does it have to do with sacrificing? Like witches and tarot cards and black magic?
No.
Okay.
Andrew's guess is closer, and Seth is wearing a goat on his shirt for audio listeners, and that's probably the biggest hint.
Is it that picture of that guy? He has a goat face.
What are you talking
Human body,
Oh,
goat face.
it's Goatman.
Is it? Oh, so is it Goatman?
It's not Goatman, but that thing is freaky. Maybe someday if I have any stories on Goatman, we can do an episode on that. It's more or less in the name for this creature. This creature's name is in Spanish, and when you translate it, it translates to goat sucker.
Ah,
Chupacabra?
Yes.
Oh.
Chupacabra.
I don't know Spanish.
Do you remember Jess didn't even know what a chupacabra was?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had never heard of one before. So, for those who don't know, it's basically that. It's a chupacabra. People in Mexico say that they've seen this thing, but it also has claimed to have been seen here in the United States now, too. I don't necessarily know if that's true, because we don't know if this creature's real. Some people compare it to, like, the United States version of Sasquatch. However, I feel like Bigfoot is huge, right? There's a way bigger chance of us finding a Bigfoot. If there are chupacabras out there, that's way more plausible in my opinion. Because they're very dog-like. They can very easily just be confused for something else. And I guess that's a reason why they also aren't real. But, I don't know, do you guys believe in the possibility of a chupacabra?
I have 2 at home.
So yeah, I didn't believe, but now that I know he has 2 at home, yeah, I believe.
Okay, so you believe because Seth has them.
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Christopher?
I think it's not real.
Okay, but yeah, chupacabra is basically a creature that kills other animals, sheep, goats, so on and so forth. It's very like dog-like, like a sick-looking dog. It's very spotty. Its face is kind of like a skull with like patchy skin and so on and so forth. At least that's what the people who claim to have seen him say.
Him?
There's no hers.
I'm sure that there are some females. Yeah,
They gotta breed.
All right, I should
there's
say,
more
I
than
should just say,
Unless they're
it.
asexual, and then in that case they breed like one by one by one, and then that's scary.
Yeah,
There's definitely more than one. It's a species.
Like starfish.
They might like bud.
Yeah.
You know budding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's one like growing off another one.
That's terrifying. Like cat dog.
That's really funny.
Do you think cat dog was a chupacabra?
Could be.
All along?
Wow. That was Nickelodeon trying to tell us something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know stuff that we're not supposed to know.
Yeah, for sure. You guys ready to hear the first story?
No.
Story number 1. So there's a boy. He's got 2 brothers, and he went with his family to go visit his grandparents in Mexico. They pick him up from the airport, the grandparents take them back to their log cabin, and they have a forest by their log cabin. The first day that they stay there, everything's totally fine. Nothing weird happens. The second night, the family all hears this weird scratching from outside. They hear these weird shrieks and like stomping around. The brothers all are very confused by this, and they go outside and they see a deceased deer with like claw marks through it. And then they see this tree with the same claw marks in the tree. The oldest brother says, I've seen these marks before. I've done research on this. This is the work of a chupacabra. Nothing else looks like this. So the brothers are kind of freaked out. They go inside. They kind of forget about it for the rest of their trip there. They come home. 3 years later, they come back to visit. And they don't really remember that night. They're not afraid to go back necessarily. But when they return back, the very first night they're there, they hear the exact same thing. Stomping, scratching, animals screaming. They do not go outside at night. The next morning they go outside. They see another dead deer in basically the same spot that they saw one 3 years prior. And they go over to the tree that they saw the claw marks on originally, and there are countless scratches all over that thing, as if this thing has been scratching it every single night for years. So the oldest brother says, I want to see this thing. I want to go out into the woods and see if I can find this chupacabra. The other 2 brothers are like, I do not want any part of this. We're staying back. The oldest brother goes into the woods. The tables turn because he comes home and now he's the one who's horrified for his life. And he's limping and he's got scratches all over his leg. And he's pale and he says,
It was a raccoon.
He says it was a raccoon, and they go home. He says, I saw it, and they never tell their parents about it. They never go out in the woods again. And that is the end of story number 1. I'm going to give you guys some time to discuss. Go.
Hey, they never told their parents about it.
They
Yeah, I
never
know.
told their parents about
Like
it.
I came home
Also, like-
limping, and it's like, what the?
Why would you go back there too?
I feel
like it was a very tame story.
it was extremely tame, which
Right?
makes me think that it's real.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed.
It's not the made up story,
Uh-huh.
but it's a terrible story.
Yeah,
Whoever made this on Reddit did a
pretty
terrible
basic.
job.
Pretty basic story.
Yeah. 'Cause I see a lot of flaws with it. It's fake. It just, a lot of it just seems stupid to me. It just sounds stupid. Like what? No one ever said a chupacabra stomps around. Like it's a freaking dog. My dog don't stomp around.
Yeah, I can see.
know what
Well,
I'm
it
saying?
depends on
Also,
how big
like,
it is too. I'm
You
trying
went to
to
go
think.
look for it without any like weapons on him or any like.
And it leaves a
gonna go
deer in
see
the
it.
same spot. What? It only eats right in front of this log cabin.
Beats me.
It only scratches one tree.
Trying to share.
Oh, it's so generous.
that?
It's like, you know, when a cat brings you a dead bird, it brings you like a diseased deer. It's like, hey guys,
My
you know-
dog did that with a squirrel once.
Really?
Yeah, it was disgusting. I was so panicked. I ran around the backyard trying to get it, and I pulled a dead freaking squirrel out of his mouth. And then I had to run to the garbage can and throw it in the garbage can, and then I had to give him a bath.
Anyway.
That's it. Nothing further.
Seth, do you have any thoughts?
I mean, I've said everything that I could think of.
Okay.
The diseased deer is still being there. I'm not, either the grandparents are just
Not diseased. It was deceased.
Deceased. Okay. Well, the dead deer. you'd think that like the grandparents would do something about it and not be lazy.
I don't feel good about it.
In which way?
I just feel like it is real. I just didn't like the story. It didn't entertain me.
Okay,
Agreed.
fair enough.
Basic.
Very basic.
Boring.
Yeah.
Sloppy.
Very sloppy. Extremely sloppy.
Disingenuous.
Very disingenuous. And like what?
Too political.
It scratched his leg. That's the other thing, right? Why? Who said that these chupacabras scratch things? I thought they sucked the blood like a vampire.
Well, they scratch stuff. I do know that.
I think most things scratch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But like, why'd they scratch the boy and not drink his blood? Do they drink human blood?
Maybe he ran away, or maybe he like kicked it or something.
That's what you say when like you're trying to pick up girls. Like,
Yeah.
What do you say?
Tussled with the chupacabra down in Mexico, no big deal.
How'd you get
in
that
Mexico?
scar? Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you a story. A boy and his two brothers went down to Mexico to visit their grandparents. They stayed in a log cabin.
Oh my!
I was going to retell the whole story, but
That brother was me.
There's a detail that I accidentally left out, but it's probably not that important.
tell me
Okay.
it. Tell me it.
The three brothers are all only 1 year apart. They're 7, 8, and 9.
Wait a second.
What?
That changes everything.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay, listen. So I need to know, is that when they first saw the chupacabra or that's 3 years later?
That's when they first saw him.
Okay, so 3 years later, the oldest one is only 12.
Yeah.
That's why this story's lame, because it's a kid telling the story. Oh yeah, this happened when I was a kid. Okay.
Yeah, who's telling the story? Is it the 7, 8, or 9-year-old?
I assume that it's the oldest brother.
Is the oldest brother telling it?
Yes.
Okay.
And you don't tell your parents?
No, this is
Wait,
not.
if it's the oldest brother, then why didn't he tell what he saw out there? He just said he saw a chupacabra and that was it. He came home limping.
Yes, correct.
You would
No way.
Like that's the point of view of either the 7
It
or 8-year-old.
almost
not the
sounds
9.
like the 12-year-old made up the story to scare his little brother. And
Like he went out there with a stick, cut himself, and came back.
Yeah, and he's like,
Realistic.
yeah, it was a chupacabra.
found
He's
it.
definitely just like a different animal.
Yes.
Tripped on a rock.
And, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Wait a second. This 9-year-old did a whole bunch of research on the chupacabra. I call malarkey.
Yeah.
I barely knew how to read.
Guys, I have a PhD in chupacabra
So is
studies
this-
at 9 years old.
Yeah, right? Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
Is this so what do we think now?
Nothing.
Is
I
this
think
the poorly written fake story, or
this is the poorly written real story.
Well, we got to hear the other ones first.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna jump into the second story now. Story number 2. So, 2 women were hiking through the Andes Mountains, and they planned, the Andes Mountains.
Hey, I got
Andy
mountains.
boy.
All right. I didn't even know this, dude.
They basically planned out like a 2-week trip, and there were a bunch of different sites that they wanted to see on this trail. They drive up to their spot, they get out, they hike for a little bit, and then they set up camp for the night. And they're super excited about this. When it comes time for them to go to bed, they're chilling at their little campsite for a little bit. They hear a really loud yell coming from the distance. Now, they're in the forest. This could be any animal. So that's not super unlikely, but it definitely sounds a little bit freaky. They wake up next morning. It is sweltering hot outside. They start their hike, and as they're going, they are just sweating so badly, and they realize that they are going through the supply of water that they brought way quicker than they had planned. We have 2 options here. 1, we can turn back now and replenish and try this over, or 2, we could just hike for a little bit and then cut the trip short and then just come home. They could not agree on which one to do. They start arguing with each other. They're yelling, and their yelling must have attracted things in the forest because they hear other yelling coming again, and it's the same yell that they heard from the night before. But this time, it's much louder, and it's much closer. After some time, they see something crawling out of the forest. It's this weird, patchy-looking, skull face-like looking creature, and it is crawling towards them. They freak out, and they start to sprint. This thing begins to follow them. So one of the women is like, okay, we gotta do something about this, and they reach for the supply of food that they brought with them out of their bag, and they start throwing the food out to try and get it to eat that instead of coming after them. And it works. The thing goes and starts eating the food, and the women successfully make it out of the forest. And that is the end of story number 2. I'm gonna give you guys some time to discuss. Go.
That one seems the most plausible to me.
Yeah.
Personally. So far out of the 2.
I mean, so this isn't in Mexico, right? It was the Andes Mountains.
This
so
is the
that's-
Andes Mountains.
Yeah.
This one I feel like is a real story. 1 is not told by a 12-year-old child. 2, it could have been anything in the forest again,
And it just
they're just
scared
saying
them.
it's a chupacabra because that's what it seemed like. But I mean, it could have been a regular animal because we're throwing out like all this food. Like chupacabra's probably not gonna eat it. It got no blood in it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
wait a minute. So why would it go after the food then?
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
just a real story.
It's the only.
It's a real story and it's a real animal. It's not the chupacabra.
Yeah, they're sprinting away from it. They're not getting a good look at it.
No, this is.
They're sprinting away while still trying to find something to throw at it.
I don't know. I'm also skeptical though, because now that I think about it, like if you have a 2-week trip, you're not gonna be able to run with all that stuff.
Yeah, if you're hiking with 2 weeks worth of.
Everything?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. And 2 weeks worth of water? You know how much water that is?
That's
A lot.
a lot
of
of water.
Originally thought this was the real one, a real one. Now I'm pretty convinced this is a fake one.
Yeah, I mean, both this one and the first one have left me feeling stupid. I don't know, I feel like my IQ has gone down after hearing these stories.
Anyway, we have to take a break. But before we go to break, we are going to play a quick little mini game. So, Andrew, you're going to get to play the game your brother played.
Which one?
We are playing Guess Who.
Okay.
So basically, I have picked a mythical creature that I know you guys are all aware of. You've heard of this thing. I don't think it's the first thing that comes to your minds, though, so it's going to be a little bit tricky.
Oh, I know it.
You guys get to ask like 5 questions as if you were playing the board game Guess Who, and
Chupacabra.
and I'm going to answer them. In the end, you make your guess and you see if you got the right mythical creature. So you guys get to work together on this. Okay? So yeah, go for it.
Okay, let's think.
Got 5.
Is it land or sea based? I was thinking.
Oh, that's good.
Land, air,
Wait,
or
he
sea.
said it doesn't have to be yes or no, right?
Yeah, so land, air,
So-
or sea.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Just make sure you throw
Land,
air,
air,
in there.
or
Yeah.
sea.
I want to know if it flies, and that's a sneaky way of asking.
It is land.
Land.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the question of human traits. Because I
Yeah.
feel like most mythical creatures have like some kind of humanity to them.
Yeah.
Wait, let me ask you a question. Would you say that like something like Bigfoot has human-like
Yeah.
traits?
Yeah.
100%.
So do you want to ask that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
It does have human-like traits.
Okay.
Dog
Bigfoot.
man. Oh.
So we have Bigfoot. Let's think.
Whoa, we're on different pages.
Werewolf.
I didn't even think about
Gnomes?
Oh,
my
no.
gosh, there's so many.
Okay, so gnomes, fairies.
Fairies?
Does it
Well,
have
fairies are in air,
Oh, that's true.
Guys.
so it can't. It's
It's yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do we dare ask if it's aggressive?
Gnomes can be very aggressive.
Actually, they can in the movies
Yeah.
I've seen.
We have leprechaun.
Oh, yeah.
Leprechaun.
I've also seen some aggressive leprechauns in some movies.
Oh, you know what? We could. That's hard. I was gonna say, is it more like monster-like? I mean, gnomes and
Animalistic.
leprechaun. Yeah. Oh, animalistic would be good.
Does it have animalistic traits?
That's your question? Are you all cool with that?
Yeah, that's good.
I would say yes.
I don't know.
Not a
Not a
gnome.
gnome.
Not a gnome. Not a.
Not a leprechaun.
Not a leprechaun.
So maybe it is a werewolf.
You have 2 more questions.
Oh God.
So, and you get 2 guesses, remember.
Who does he main in Mario Kart?
That actually is important to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably mains Rosalina.
Oh,
Rosalina.
that changes
Oh my
everything.
gosh, definitely Mr. Foot.
Are they introverts?
Or extroverts.
I don't know how to answer
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
What kind of person would they be at a party?
Yeah.
Life of the party.
Standing
I
in
think
the corner of the room.
Everyone would definitely be looking at it.
That's rude.
Yeah.
That changes everything.
I'm trying to think of like the best way to word. Like, would they be?
Oh, wait. Anthony said everyone would be looking at it, right? So it must be attractive.
Yeah. Which one of these creatures would you date, Anthony? A werewolf, Bigfoot,
I know the
Anything
answer.
Anthony could get his hands on.
Yeah, the troll.
Dog
I would
man.
probably date Troll because they're the only one shorter than me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it hostile if provoked?
they are hostile.
If provoked.
They.
I would say in general,
In general. Okay.
but definitely if provoked.
Okay. So trolls are no.
Yeah, no.
Nor Bigfoot.
Or Bigfoot,
I'm feeling pretty good about werewolf.
werewolf,
What are our remaining options?
skinwalker, and like, I think werewolf.
What about reptile people?
Oh, reptilians.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg's hostile at provoked.
He's a creature.
Marky Z.
Is Mark Zuckerberg his own category?
Yes,
Cryptids,
that
probably.
he's his own category.
Oh, is it a cryptid?
That's actually a good question. That knocks off like an entire group.
Yeah. Or is it more
Is that
like
your
the
question?
werewolves or-
This is
Yeah,
your last
yeah.
question. It's not a cryptid.
I would like to guess werewolf.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is not a werewolf.
Dogman? Brings me back to Dogman. Basically a werewolf. Dogman and werewolves are basically the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, they are.
Is it Red X?
It's Red Axe from Teen Titans.
I really don't know.
This is tough. Siren Head.
It doesn't have animal-like features. Minotaur makes the most sense.
You want to just guess?
I guess, yeah.
Let me give you one final hint.
I'm assuming it's
so-
not Minotaur though.
Yeah, okay, you gave us a hint already. Thank you.
If we were finding this thing right now, Toph would be the most likely to be comfortable
Excuse me?
What?
because of what he's wearing.
What?
Yeti. It's a Yeti.
Oh,
It's a cold environment.
Oh, cold environment.
I was thinking that, but I was like, I don't know what creatures,
Snowman.
mythical
is
creatures live in a
Yeti.
cold
Yes!
environment.
All right, dude. Yeah. 2
Yeti.
for 2.
Yeah, it was Yeti. You got it after I gave you like 3 extra free hints, but it's okay.
You're like, guys,
I'm still
he
gonna
likes
give
snow cones?
you. Yeah, I almost said he's in Monsters Inc.
Oh, that would have, yeah.
But that would have totally given it
Okay.
away. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna get into story number 3. We will be right back. Since the NFL is back, that means that winning season is too on MyBookie. If you want to do all of your sports betting online in a safe and easy way, MyBookie is the way to go. Just to make the big games even better, there's over $500,000 in contest prize money. You can choose from a variety of boosts, contests, and promotions up for grabs, including the crown jewel of winning season, the MyBookie Super Contest. It only costs $10 to enter, and you'll find this all at mybookie.ag. You get to pick 5 games against the spread each week. Every time you win, you get a point, and every time you get a point, you're a little bit closer to the grand prize. If you missed out on the first week, it's all good because entries are still open and all it takes is 1 solid week to get yourself back out there. But don't just take my word for it. Join now with MyBookie and start your winning season today. In order to get you started, make your first deposit at mybookie.ag and use promo code MYTHS to instantly receive double your deposit. That's double your money to double your winnings with your first ever deposit using promo code MYTHS. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Thank you again to MyBookie for sponsoring today's episode.
So I ran him over.
Wait,
We
He's
are
in the middle of the. Oh.
back.
did he die?
So anyway, I'm gonna ignore that and we're gonna get into story number 3.
All right.
Okay,
Awesome.
story number 3. Who is playing footsie with me at the moment?
I don't think it's not me. It's actually not me. Who is it? Was he?
It was Christopher. It was Socks, and he's the only one in socks right now.
Dang it. Nice deductive skills.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yes.
Okay.
I was doing that far too long for it to be an accident.
I just didn't know if you knew it was the pole in the middle of the table or if you
No,
thought it was me.
I knew it was you. I
Okay.
could feel the genes.
Well, anyway, story number 3. There's a man, he grew up on a farm, and his grandfather raised him there. He lived there for 18 years, and then he went away to college, and then after college, he went off and did his thing for a while, and he hadn't seen his grandfather in a very, very long time, and he's going back to the farm to visit his grandfather after all this time, and both him and his grandfather are super excited about it. He gets there, and he realizes how much time has passed because, 1, he's not as equipped to the farm life as he used to be. 2, he realizes how much older his grandfather is than he remembers. And 3, the farm is very, very different. And they're having a lot of conversations, and he asks his grandfather about the farm. And his grandfather's like, oh, it's been fine, I can take care of it, and, you know, whatever. It kind of brushes it off, no big deal. He wants to know more about the grandson than he wants to talk about his farm.
He's now playing footsies with me.
No, I'm just I'm just resting my feet on his feet.
Anywho,
Can we get a foot cam?
he's spending the night. They're going to bed, and in the middle of the night, he hears these shrieks coming from the farm, and it sounds like one of the cows yelling hysterically. So the grandson runs out there, and he's freaking out because he has never experienced anything like this. And he sees this pale, bony, patchy-looking creature that resembles a chupacabra just clawing at this cow, destroying it. The grandfather steps out there and he goes, yep. It's
Yeah.
all right.
Cow's getting mauled and
Yes.
Another day in the farm.
That's the circle of life right
Another day
there.
on the farm, yep. So he literally has a shovel with him and he goes, I knew that was going to get a reaction.
He literally has a shovel.
No anything, just yep. Get out of here.
He's got a shovel with him and he goes, it's a Chupacabra. They've been killing my cattle for a really long time now. He hands his grandson the shovel, and the grandson, while it's still attacking the cow, goes over to it and starts beating up the Chupacabra. So the grandson whacks this thing with the shovel, beats it up while it's still attacking the cow, and knocks the thing out. And the grandfather goes, listen, it's not dead. The only way to fully kill these things is to burn them. So they take this knocked out Chupacabra and they pull it into an empty area in the field and they burn this Chupacabra to death.
Yo, that's pretty. That's hardcore, though.
Yeah.
That is the end of story
That was my
number 3.
favorite.
Okay.
Go.
That one was.
I want to believe that's a real story.
That one was so different from the first two.
Yeah. There's nothing that like stuck out to say that this was made up.
Yeah.
Really? Not, yeah, Vince been killing my cattle. Yeah, but like,
Time to get
he's
to
seen
business.
this over and over again. It's like, there's nothing I can do. The dang Chupacabra is just mauling my cows again.
Well, he knew to burn it, so he's definitely
Gotta
killed him
burn it.
before because he's doing to burn him. So
Thank God you're here, grandson. Take this shovel.
Anyway, I'm going to recap all 3 real quick,
I
and
can
then
do
I'm
it.
going to give you guys some time to make your fun.
I can recap.
All right, you know what? Let's do it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, I'm doing my recaps too.
Okay. Story number 1. What
Wait,
I think I'm going to recap
what
them.
happened to just give me so I
Give him bullet points.
give me a head start.
3 boys go to their grandfathers in Mexico.
3 boys go to the. All right, you can talk.
3 boys go to visit their grandfather in Mexico, or their grandparents in Mexico, rather. They get there. The second night, they hear some screaming. They find a dead deer and some marks on the tree. They go back 3 years later, find the same thing. The boy goes to investigate in the woods, comes back with a scratch on his ankle.
All right, story number 1. Older brother trips on a rock and lies to his siblings to, feel cool.
Youngest
cool
sibling
because
writes
he's
the story
12.
on Reddit years later.
Story number 2. 2 women go for a hike. They stay the night. They hear some screams. They get into an argument over which decision they should make, if they should turn around or go a little bit further, and then they see a Chupacabra. They throw some food its way, so it goes after that instead of them.
All right, 2 women plan a very poor hike. And
Underprepared.
suffer because of it. Yeah.
And then story number 3, our golden boy right here, beat Chupacabra with shovel.
And
That's all
burn
I'm
it.
gonna say. That's all I need to say.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of mine too.
It's
And
really
burned to death.
and burns it to death. That's all that needs to be said.
I think the fake one was number 2.
Seth?
This is tough. I don't know.
Let me also tell
I'm
you
gonna give you
this.
some time to discuss.
So,
Go.
so like, I don't know about you guys, but I've gone away with Jess a lot of times, okay? And never have we gotten into an argument of which we're gonna do. It's always her going, I don't care. I don't care. So this didn't happen. These women never argued like that. This is a made up story. And even if it was real, it wasn't a Chupacabra.
They also brought 2 weeks of food with them. Food and water.
How is
2
that
weeks.
possible?
Not enough water though.
Yeah.
Even 1 week, like you would be like.
Yeah, that's a
dying.
lot.
Like I struggle carrying in a pack of 24 water bottles to my house.
Yeah.
It's like 5 feet from my car to my garage.
Yeah.
I'm sweating.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine lugging that around.
And you're a strong boy.
I feel very good with 2 now, actually. Looking
Me too.
back.
Me too.
Well, let's think about it. Okay. Is there any reason we shouldn't pick 2 and we should go with a different one? Because I can't think of a single reason other than that number 1 is the stupidest story I've ever heard in the history of me being alive.
Yeah, 1 was awful.
Yeah.
And 3 was over the top.
3 was great. I don't have anything else to say besides that farmer.
3 is a clickhole
treasure.
article.
Yeah. 2. Final answer.
So
I'm
yeah,
good.
are we good with
Well,
that?
this is the problem because I'm extremely confident in 2 and I've never won. So maybe
Yeah,
we
but
should
that-
really heavily consider this.
I feel 2. That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna lock in?
I'm scared too.
I'll
I'm not
lock
gonna
it in.
lie. Okay,
All right.
Seth is a confident
Seth,
person.
please do the honors.
I'll lock in story number 2. Final answer.
The fake story is story number 2.
Yes! Yes! There is a W!
I can't. Oh!
Andrew got his win. Yeah, it's the food thing. It's the 2 weeks water.
My losing streak is over.
That's the
Thank
little.
God we didn't overthink it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh. Are you guys sweating?
I am because it's hot.
Yeah.
I actually can't breathe for a
I have a
second.
beanie on.
You guys breathe or no?
I can breathe.
Oh.
Andrew has his first win. I'm so happy
Thank
for
you guys
him.
for believing in me. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing me. Most importantly, thank you for believing in me.
Wait, what about me?
No, you too.
Oh, okay.
That is about it. Thank you guys so much for playing. Thank everyone at home for watching and listening. Andrew has this big, stupid smile on his face. I'm so happy for him.
Thank you. I won! I won!
For those of
I
you,
won!
Oh boy.
Oh, all right.
I'm gonna go climb on your roof and scream it from the roof. I feel like I could pick up my car. Like I feel so empowered.
You feel like you could pick up a car?
You don't?
Anyway, for those of you who are listening anywhere where you get your podcasts, make sure to give us a rate and review. It really helps us out. And subscribe to the podcast for free. If you're watching the video version over on our YouTube channel, make sure to give it a like, leave a comment letting us know what you thought, and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss when we post new videos. I'm talking way too fast for anyone to understand me right now. I will slow down a little bit.
If you want to see me win next week again,
is for
come
you.
back because my winning streak has started, boys. First place! Woo!
It's so funny. If you have stories of your own, whether they're real or fake, I'd love to hear them and maybe I will use them for a future episode. I can use the fake ones as a lie. You can send them in to truemythsonlie@gmail.com or at Culture35 on Instagram. That's about it. We will see you guys again next Tuesday with a brand new episode of the podcast or next Friday. This Friday. Actually, it's this Friday.
Oh, this
Oh,
Friday.
that's great. That's a great surprise.
great news.
I didn't want to wait till next Friday.
Or Friday with a brand new comedy skit. Bye, guys.
Kind of comedy.